Hello, and welcome to episode 96 of Design Curious Podcast. I'm your host and mentor, Rebecca Ward. Today on the podcast, we are talking about AI renderings and using AI to help you create some design. And today we're speaking with Kasey Hayano. She is the co-founder and CEO of HomeVisualizer.AI, which is a platform that helps designers quickly ideate and create new visual content in an easy-to-use program. So we talk all about the benefits of AI for designers, how you can use it, more specifically about her platform, which I have signed up to use and have started working in it because I definitely am looking to incorporate AI as the world figures out how to use AI effectively with our work. This is a great way to explore that. So let's talk with Kasey. You're now listening to Design Curious, a place where you, creative one, are here to learn about what it really is like to be an interior designer. And I'm your host and mentor, Rebecca Ward. If you're worried about how to succeed in a creative career, if you're ready to learn your next steps to become an interior designer, and if you want the satisfaction of doing something you love every day, you are in the right place. Grab a coffee, a notebook, and let's dig into today's episode. Hi, Kasey. Welcome to Design Curious Podcast. So great to have you today.
Hi, Rebecca. So great to be here.
Yeah. So I was really excited when you reached out to come on the show because this is a topic that I've definitely been looking at lately and would love to hear just what you've created and how designers can incorporate AI into every day. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so I am from HomeVisualizer.AI. We are a newer AI tool that is really focused on interior design, allowing folks to create renders that are photorealistic, really ideate and streamline those workflows, and then ultimately help delight clients, surprise them by the awesome visuals that they can see and kind of see their projects in real life.
Okay. So I haven't really dabbled much with AI yet. So tell me, how does this work? Like if I were to have, I know you can conceptualize just inspiration through AI, but if I wanted something more specific towards a project that I was working on, how would I do that?
Yeah, so we have a few ways that folks can get started. We have a studio that's all browser-based, so everything is done on your computer. And the beautiful thing with that is that it doesn't require someone to kind of download AI software directly to their hardware or, kind of go through those hoops of how to get to AI even, right?
Okay.
And within our studio, it's super easy. You create a login on our website. Actually, any sign up gets 3 free renders. So anyone's, open to try them out. And in the studio itself, we really wanted to make it extremely simple to use, right? Something that didn't have every single bell and whistle that AI could offer because we didn't want it to be so confusing and overwhelming. That's like, what is this AI thing, right? And so what folks can do is start with a file that they upload. This could be a photo, an elevation, even a hand sketch, right? Depending on how folks ideate. And then with that, there are 3 different design modes. So you can either auto style, which means choose from a list of styles that we've kind of pre-populated and pre-prompted for AI, right? You can do a custom design request, meaning you just simply list out adjective, noun, a list of requests that you'd like the photo or the file to kind of transform into. And then there's also style fusion, where you can actually upload an inspiration photo, and then our AI can help kind of meld the 2 photos together.
Okay. And so how does that work if you wanted to show specific, can you show specific furnishings or colors and everything that you're actually wanting to select and show in a render?
It's a good question. I'll preview it a bit because maybe a step back. HomeVisualizer is just me and my co-founder, Sai. We're a 2-person team. We're very lean and very much we just want to work as hard as we can to make this a great system.
Yeah.
And I was just chatting with Sai about this, and we're investigating the ability to do that specific thing where you can say, hey, this is a specific gray couch or a rug that I want to spec. But also AI is rooted in hallucinating and being very creative, right? And so in its current model, in its current state, it won't always listen to every single thing you ask for. but it will get like the gist of it. I would say generally, 75 to 90% there. But once you want to change just one thing from an output photo, it's a little trickier to do that right now, but we are looking into ways to do that.
Okay. What would be the learning curve on using this platform?
Yes. I mean, I wish and hope, and I think this is the most easy AI tool someone could use. We really wanted to reduce, like we were very intentional when we built the studio to reduce the number of clicks and things that people had to type in.
Mm-hmm.
So when folks explore our website, auto style is just upload, choose a style, choose a room, click go, right?
Okay, yeah.
Custom requests is just an open text box and you plug in your ideas and let it ride. And then so with all of these studio functions, the reason why we made it so simple is because we are both based off of Stable Diffusion, right? And that can have upwards of 8 to 12 different custom steps and things that you can, iterate on as a programmer. And we've kind of done that fine tuning on our back end. And we are continuing to do that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like investigating and testing and making sure that we are kind of changing the filters, if you will, here and there as we need to. But I would say learning curve is, we think it's instantaneous, which is why we want the free trial to be something that people can try.
Yeah. And what exactly is Stable Diffusion?
So this is just an AI model. It's a little different from Midjourney or Dolly, which might be models that folks are more familiar with.
Yeah.
This is just built from another company called Stability, and it's an open source model and something that we really think is the best version of AI for interior design is because a little bit of the nuances that it relies on lines. So it does really well with keeping cabinets in the same place, furniture in the same place. And maybe to your question earlier, it's not great at being super creative with changing things here and there, but like it will keep the integrity of the room.
Okay. Yeah. So my thought is that this would maybe start to take the place of ordering 3D renders for a room, like using SketchUp or whatever other platform. Is that the kind of the idea that you're seeing as well?
Yeah, so we really wanted to focus more on like ideation phase. And so it's almost like a better, more curated Pinterest, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Where we're able to help with the ideation process. And frankly, I think a lot of it too is just helping that client and designer relationship start off on the right foot.
Okay.
Right? And I think like best practice is always having a mood board or something that's rooted in visuals, because people will say words, but words can mean different things to different people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why we really want to start with the visual side first. I wouldn't venture to say we're right there yet to kind of be an easier SketchUp or a rendering tool yet, because we can't do those specific edits and those changes. But once we can control the model a bit, which I think is going to be soon, we hope that this is just a simpler way to ideate and visualize rooms and layouts, and maybe even like changing layouts of kitchens, right? Which is one of the more complicated things. So we have hopes and dreams to get there. And I think with AI, it's just a matter of time and when it'll get there.
Yeah. You're very much in a startup phase, right? Like, how did you decide on the home industry?
So I've been working in tech startups for the last decade or so of my career. Had a ton of fun kind of working at DoorDash and Chegg and Local Kitchens, which are a few of the companies I was at previously, and love operating and like seeing challenging processes and making them easier, which has always kind of like been a part of my core, my personality. Like I've always been the friend that's like, okay, here are the 20 steps. Let's like write them all down or like put them in the right order, right?
Yeah.
Keeping like all the ducks in a row, like the mama bear. And then what happened was I actually took over a family remodel at the end of 2022. My husband's grandma was moving out of, the family home that everyone grew up in. We wanted to keep it in the family. And so my husband and I kind of raised our hands and we're like, hey, like we're willing to do the whole thing. It's from 1960s. Like we know it's, in an older state, but like we're willing to do it. Meanwhile, learning a lot through the full gut remodel.
Yes.
Right. And for me too, like as a tech operator and just always having had a really big passion for creative and like those types of things. I grew up as a dancer. I wanted to be a fashion designer in college. Like there are a lot of those parts of my career path that I kind of put on the back burner, and the remodel really helped kind of bring back those creative spirits. So really had a lot of fun doing my own remodel, and then, started really exploring just interior design in general. I think it's something that I think a lot of folks are excited by, but that it's a little daunting to do. But I love a good challenge.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
So So did you have the software yet when you're working on your remodel? Okay,
No,
so is that something that you wish that you had?
yeah, it's something I wish I had, and I don't think I realized how much people couldn't visualize. Most non-creative designer folks, right? I
Yeah.
think for me, I loved going to find finishes and materials.
Hmm.
Um, part of the pain was going at the right time and getting the right things.
Yeah.
But I could pick up a piece of tile and be like, I do like it or I don't like it. I can see it on the wall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then as I was moving on from my tech roles and really wanting to devote my time to interior design, I started, spending a lot of my time just interviewing people, doing coffee chats and like learning from folks. And then initially, actually, my business idea was to try and sell sample boxes. So
Oh.
shipping people boxes of materials. And that ended up being a little bit of a flop because people were like, okay, I got my box, but like, now what? uh, and people just really wanted vendors and they were willing to pay for them. And then, of course, like naturally with AI and everything and the buzz with all the technological advances, I had to explore whether or not this is possible. And then this is how HomeVisualizer came to be.
Wow, that's great. I really like that story about how you got there. So you're also looking now for feedback from people who are starting to use the platform.
Yeah,
And so yeah, we'll definitely have links so people can start using it and see how it is. I definitely will be interested in that myself. So as you're exposed to kind of more and more of the design industry and the business side of it, are there other ways that you see AI integrating into the home business?
I think there's many different ways. And I think that's the beauty of AI is it's so flexible, right? And
Hmm.
it's able to help folks in many different directions. Even as I was exploring interior design, I was consulting with a firm locally here for 10, 20 hours a week. And even just using ChatGPT to help write emails to clients,
Hmm.
huge. Just not having to go through those mental hoops of like, okay, how do I write this like 2 paragraph thing about permit being delayed and, you know,
Yeah.
having to think through those details. Like just tell ChatGPT in a few bullet points and it'll craft a beautifully professionally written email in seconds. And that just saves people so much time. So I think just in terms of like words and language, it's going to be a huge win. And I think
Hmm.
obviously my core is going to always be process and operations.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I hope there's also a world in which we can make this just simpler in terms of process and steps and making it clear, like, if this, then that. And the challenge with interior design, which I love, is that nothing's cookie cutter,
Yes.
right? And
Well,
so,
at least we
uh,
hope so.
yeah,
We don't
exactly.
want it to be. Yeah.
And that's the point of design is to be creative and like
Yeah.
be different. And so I think AI is like the perfect tech, marriage with that kind of industry because
Hmm.
it's so creative and it's supposed to be
Hmm.
hallucinating that like it can be flexible and ebb and flow depending on the process that you're
Hmm. Yeah. So then speaking of like Chat GPT, so sometimes you know how you have to tweak the thing that it spits out to you and you're like, okay, make it sound a little more professional or a little more friendly. Can you do that then with the custom box that is in your platform as well?
Yes. So with the custom box, there's going to be a little AI creativity scale that's right below the custom design request or even the style fusion features.
Hmm.
And that's basically saying, hey, if I want it to be low AI creativity, please keep everything as simple as it can. Don't go too crazy. If you shift it over to high AI creativity, it's going to be like, hey, forget some of the lines, move around the furniture if you want, just show me a different angle. And so very similar to kind of like tone it down or tone it up. It's a very similar scale there.
Yeah. Okay. And so then is this like a monthly membership type of program then
Mhm.
people
Yep.
can
So we're a
subscribe
monthly
to?
subscription. Yeah.
Okay.
We have a monthly plan as well as an annual plan, just depending on how folks. The
Mm.
only difference is that the standard plan has 250 rentals a month
Okay.
and some more unlimited storage. So in our gallery, which is all the photos and outputs that you've ever created, if you're on the lower tier, we'll only save so many of them in a month.
Okay.
Versus if you're on the more pro tier, you'll get up
Hmm.
to 5,000 vendors a month. And then we'll have unlimited cloud storage. So we'll always keep those outputs
Oh, wow.
as you need them.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. That sounds like really attainable and even a good partner for those who are starting out in their business because they might not have a lot of resources, but they want to help to visualize for their clients what their
Exactly.
ideas are. And so, or even just building a potential portfolio of like things that they're hoping their projects will look like, things that
Yep.
they could potentially do,
And
and
that's
kind of let their clients know if they're just starting out.
exactly. And I think that's a great point of we're looking for teams, especially in the beginning. We really want to focus on those smaller firms. So anyone that doesn't have any employees, perfect, right? Because we can help you ideate, kind of be that design buddy in your day to day, up to like maybe 4 or 5 employees, like smaller teams, right? Because that's really our bread and butter, is helping those teams work more efficiently. And then to your point on like visual communication, we think it's also really helpful. And we've heard this feedback too of designers just needing more content to post on social or build a portfolio or just have something visual to anchor on as like, this is my stamp in the world of what my designs can be. And frankly, when you're starting out, like you don't have a project done every 2 days. You don't have something new to post, right? So just having the ability to be like, hey, actually like want to iterate. I want to dream of like my ideal client projects and what I can do. So it can definitely be a great way to create some portfolio photos or like concepts, if you will.
Great. Wonderful. Okay. So where can people find you again? And also, do you have like an Instagram that shows kind of examples of these things?
Yes.
Okay.
So our Instagram's HomeVisualizer.AI. So super simple. We're a little orange logo. We're looking for that. And then we have a website. It's just www.HomeVisualizer.AI. And yeah, if you want to check out our Instagram, we have tons of reels of like before and afters. It's been evolving over time as we create more content too.
Right. Yeah.
So you kind of see the options of all the things that we can create and, just get some inspiration too.
Great. Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you want our listeners to know about AI or your program?
I think for folks that are just curious too, like, as I mentioned, I am a huge believer in just like chatting through it and learning from people and learning from everyone that's listening. So please feel free to reach out to me personally. It's Kasey, Kasey, at HomeVisualizer.AI. You can email me anytime. I would love to find time to chat. And even if AI feels a little daunting or scary, like it totally like, no strings attached, like just want to learn and kind of hear how I can help. Because ultimately, like we really would love to just be that go-to stop for folks that need some ideation and, AI vendors. And I really believe in being a part of this community wholeheartedly and, authentically. So please don't be a stranger.
Great. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Kasey. And we'll put all those links in the show notes so people can find you and give you some feedback and start loving your product, I'm sure. So
thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon. So I hope you go and check out HomeVisualizer.AI. There's a link for you in the show notes, and I will keep you informed as I explore how to use it. I definitely think that it'd be great in the initial concept phase to kind of come together with an idea of how we think the project might go, like a direction, how we use Pinterest to kind of help formulate that. And maybe we can use this AI platform to give a little bit more of an idea for clients who really have a hard time visualizing. I definitely have some of those right now. And even though we've done our best to show them, and we even have 3D renderings of showing them the space, it's not picture perfect. And the client really, as the project has been developing and being put into their home, they see every step of it and they're like, oh, okay, now I can see it. Now I'm like, really? You couldn't see it before? But I understand and appreciate that not everybody can visualize the way that designers do. And that's why we have our jobs, right? Okay, so check that out because that's definitely going to be a useful tool. Links are in the show notes for everything, including all the free downloads I have, the quiz, information about my design mentor. And that's all I have for you this week. So stay tuned. I'll have another great episode for you next week. And until then, stay creative. Thanks for listening. If you love this episode, please leave a rating and a review. This helps me reach other curious creatives like you. If you have a topic request or would like to contact me, simply head over to my website, rwarddesign.com, or email me at podcast@rwarddesign.com.